What's up guys, Tremor3 Reticle Hyve. This video is going to be just a short video on that Tremor3. And like I said in the last video I made, I used the Tremor3 and it was a lot to kind of break down whenever we're doing a bunch of different reticles just because there's so much in this reticle. So I was going to do a little video on just kind of breaking that reticle down. I know a lot of guys that use it, I use it, and I've seen a lot of shooters come through classes that have that reticle in there. So again, there is training out there for this from the guy who made it. He loves doing the training. This is just going to be a short little intro into it here. So I have kind of a breakdown of the Tremor3 reticle here. Now, as we talked about before, there's going to be those, looking at the horizontal Stadia line going down. That's what we're really going to focus on right now in these wind dots. So these wind dots, and what I said with my gun was it's a 308, so the value of my wind dots equal 4 miles an hour per dot. So it makes it a little bit easy if you're doing holdovers on your target to get in here, get on target, and then get quick wind on the target. And also you can bracket these targets and bracket wind. You know, not everybody can call wind down to the mile per hour. So it's nice to know your bracket and know how much wind's actually on the target. So here's a little example of that. If we're looking, we'll just start with this small little target here, and we'll start with the 4 mil line. Okay, now, if my gun's a 4 mile per hour gun, and I put this 4 mile an hour dot center on my target, and my hold over the target is 4 mils, it's gonna look something like this. So this would be an example of a target at about 600 yards with a 4 mile an hour of wind. Okay, left to right wind. Notice how my reticle is on the left side of the target because we always hold into wind, 4 miles per hour. Easy example. Now, let's say we don't know if the wind is actually 4 miles per hour, right? Now if I come over here, I know it's 4, but maybe it's gusting. Okay, so 4 sustained, gusting. So if the wind picks up a little bit, you just kind of drag that dot over here. Now if we're in between those dots, we know that's a 6 mile an hour wind. Okay, if we want to go a little bit farther, that'd be an 8. Okay, 4, 8, 12. Okay, and then 16 mile an hour for me would be that big circle, okay? And that's as easy as that to get wind on target using this reticle. So that's kind of an example of that. And where it really helps is whenever you're on just a little bit bigger of a target, we come over here. Now, if, let's see this bigger target, if we're at 600 and that's our target size, even right here, this is gonna be great because I have 4 and 8 mile an hour wind on the target. That means I don't have to call wind within 4 miles an hour to be able to get a good hit on this target. So if it's 4 mile an hour, let's say it may be 6 and it's gusting to 10, okay? Put that 8 right in the center. Now we have 6 and 10 on the target still to get a hit. Okay, does that make sense? Another thing we can do with this reticle is really refine the mils. Now let's use this target for an example here. I'm gonna line up and I'm gonna mill or measure the width of this target. Now if I put this side on a shoulder, kind of breaking that Stadia line, I'm gonna count 0.1, 0.2, 0.3, and it's not quite 0.4, so I may call this the target mils at 0.38 wide, okay? So the refined milling reticle works great. Then if you have bigger targets, you just come down here and let's use this one, for example, okay? We got a 1 mil width of the target, but now we wanna get down into the minutia and see exactly what that width is. So 1 mil, 0.1, 0.2, almost 0.3, I'd say about a 1.29 on our mill for that target, okay? Also at the top of the vertical Stadia line up here, you have that same mill with the refinements in it down to 0.1. So start at the 1 mil line, put that on the bottom of your target, and then just count up. You know, you have your 0.2 here, 0.5, 0.6, 0.7, right at about 0.8 mils tall for this target. Great reticle for that. And then if you don't want to use the wind dots and you want to do wind calculations, guess what? These are all point subtended all the way out and 0.2 mils going out for windage. So if we're at 4 mils, you don't like the wind dots or you haven't learned what your wind dots are, you can still do a wind calculation. You got 0.2, 0.4, 0.6, 0.8, 1 mil, all the way out, 3 mils. Once you hit the 5 mil line, you got 4 mils. 6 mil line, you got 4 mils, and kind of all the way down. Okay, so that was a little breakdown of the Horus Tremor3 reticle, really going over the wind dots and how to mill using this reticle. In the last video, we kind of went over what everything meant on the reticle, so check that out. And then also, if you like this video, leave a comment, like, maybe subscribe, and then we'll see you on the range.